I'm Mark Schneider, you're watching our classics, and today, as we're 3 cars deep here in the driveway, I got some maintenance to do on this old girl. As you can see, this brake booster here, she's sweating all that horsepower over everything. So I want to get this changed out today. Then first thing we gotta do, because my transmission's leaking fluid like crazy, we're thinking change off. I went over this morning, got some more fluid in her for her, and I took one of the PTO bolts out and we spliced her in to go and get some new bolts. So where they put some new bolts, and where they put a PTO block off plate there for the transmission, do up this master cylinder, and maybe rig up an oil pressure line that's been sitting here for as long as I've owned the truck. So let's get her going here. So as you see under here, there's my PTO shaft. We gotta get all these bolts undone, but I should probably drain it first. See how much fluid actually comes out of this thing. Oh. Yeah, that fluid is due for a change. Yeah, that's not horrible. There was still a fair bit of fluid in her. Yeah, it was time for a change for that fluid. It looks all good in there. I just got to pull this gasket off, make a new one, and stick the delete plate on. But that gives us way more room with that out of the way, especially with it not being used. So PTO's off, metal's all clean. Old gasket here did not want to come off as one piece. Right there. So I got my block off plate here. We're in the garage here. I got myself my gasket material. This stuff's mostly used for water coolant. This stuff, engine stuff, cork you can use. I hate cork. So we're going to use, I have some sheet of this. Good. So we got some gasket material here. I got my PTO place. I'll quickly stomp out what I need here. Make our gasket. You can use cork. I have lots of cork, as you can see. I have a little bit of water there too. Water, high temp. This is some high temp. This is Field Pro high temp. So here, once you get your gasket, it's always good. You can just put your gasket kind of over top of whatever you need. And if you just make very light hammer marks, it'll make the lines for you. So I'll cut that out. Like all you need, a little hammer. Ding, 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 all the way around the edge. And that'll give you your gasket. And there's so many ways to punch these holes. Like I said, if you have everything lined up, see where it is. indented right there. And you can cut them out with a leather hole punch. I use that a lot of times. I just don't know where they are. I like to use those. Or, you know, if you have a hole underneath and you have the hole lined up, you just put a socket or an extension and just punch right through too. See? Trace line. I don't know if you can see that. That's the part number, Eaton, for a delete plate. So the transmission is done. Might just be still a little wet from before, so I'll clean all that up, take a look at it, make sure she's all good and tight. I probably overfilled her, but we have the PTO delete plate in. I filled her up. And here's the thing, I'm all about learning and experimenting and buying new tools and trying them out and seeing how good I get with them. So me being impatient as I was, because trying the gravity feed gear oil against gravity, that's super slow because it's 90 weight gear oil. We drilled a hole right in my floor and I ran a funnel because the fill port is like right there. So we just went and filled her in. So now I'm gonna go grab my dimple tool and dimple this in a little bit. Then we're gonna make a template out of some cardboard here and make a cover for it and silicone it on to be a seal. So this will now be a service port for that transmission. I tried to do it through here, it didn't work obviously, so I got to re-silicone all this on. So that's the first thing I got to do here now, is make that. As well, running through here constantly, that's the shitty thing. I wasn't careful, my mirror snapped because of age. So we're gonna grab some JB Weld and JB Weld that mirror up too. I make mistakes all the time. It happens, especially on my own stuff, especially because I get tired, frustrated, cold, everything like that. And so now we're gonna take some sheet metal and make ourselves a little template and a circle hole to go above that, as well as I'm gonna take my tool. We're going to take this tool here I have laying in the middle of the floor, and we're going to go and get that all done. So I just need to grab this, run it out there, grab this, plug it in, plug my compressor in, because I unplug it. I unplug everything in my shop at night just because I don't want shop burning down. So now, where they make this look factory, by taking this, don't tell me it's not big enough. The hole is not big enough. All right, that's not gonna work. Cause I ain't they make this hole bigger. Yeah, this is just too small of a hole. Cause I was gonna go dunk and bevel it in. Oh, it's just too small, and I'm not gonna make it any bigger than it is. So I guess we're just gonna dimple what I have. So I just made the hole a bit bigger here and then went in with this, and all this does. If I can get it back in here and just all the way around it. And you can sort of see, so now there's a bevel here. You can see that bevel ridge right there. So now when I make another flat plate to sit on top of this, I'm going to bevel that too, so it sits kind of in and it'll be flush with the cab here. And now I'll have myself a service port. And it just looks kind of nice. And this is me just trying something new. Like coming on the top of my head, because now in the future, whenever I see these, because you see these on a lot of cars where they'll have a bevel port for like either a water drainage or something else like that matter. I know you can get dimple dies, but this is now something I can just kind of do with that. I gotta do a little more right there, but yeah, I really love the way this is turning out. Like, this is just, you know, I thought of something in my head. I wanted to do it, mainly because when I filled the transmission up the other day, we're in minus temperatures right now. It's a little cold. I'm like, how the hell do I fill this with gear oil, 98 gear oil from up top? Because, you know, gravity and stuff. And it still took me like an hour to fill, because the fluid was just that cold, and outside is that cold, and I'm frustrated, and I'm working on other things and everything else. So that got her done. So as you can see, I cut my cardboard template, then I cut it out, and then I beveled it as well. It'd be nice if I had some actual like dies, bevel dies, but now with what I got, she sits perfect in there. So once this is painted orange, you'll never even tell. As I'm trying to get the oil gauge line here wired up to get this oil poured out, as you can see, I brought out the welder. We did weld a washer and a nut to it, and it just broke off. I've just gone to the point where now you can see I welded 4 little nubs on it, and all I've been doing all this time has been taking the punch here and slowly hammering on those 4 nodules to get her to turn. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an oil. So now I'm gonna get my line run up through here and along the railing there and then back. And I may be wrong. I just looked up the internet. I know the ones in the back, but the one I have in the back is hooked up with my temperature. So I went, you know what? It says there's one in the front and there's one over by the oil pump. So I'll figure I'll just do that one. Although I don't think that'll work. I'm not sure. I'll wire it up for now. If it doesn't work, I'll redo it. Whatever. This is the thing of trial and error. Because I really don't want to do the one beside there. I don't want to do the one beside the oil filter because then it's right beside the headers. But if I have to, I can. Or if I have to later on, I can also change that one to be over here and this one over there, or whatever else. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. So, came back here. We got the connection union we need. She's plumbed all the way up. Everything's already tight again. And then I should probably tighten up that alternator again. Unloosen that up, pry it back, retighten it. Yeah, I had to weld that nut on, got it off, twisted off. We installed the new brake booster here because she was leaking into, sorry, the master cylinder, because it was leaking into the brake booster. So that's all cleaned out now, which is great. I did find a connector. I didn't wire it up yet. I gotta wire it up, but I did find a connector on my basic connector box here. The proper one. So now we got a proper connector there. I'll have to wire that up on a later day, but that is installed. We got her hooked up. Master cylinder's hooked up. We read oil pressure now. PTO's been deleted. Now I'm gonna go take it for a test drive and wash the motor off, clean my cab out a little bit, but that gauge works now. We just make sure she's in neutral. Right there, pressure right away. Good vacuum and good pressure. That's awesome. So I'm gonna let it warm up. I gotta move the car and then we're gonna take it for a test drive.